wow, I'm already dripping because this bodysuit, dude. First of all, I'm dying to think like it's just this thing is hot as hell. I'm gonna drip to death. It's hot.
Yeah,
I'm already sweating with this.
It looks like
it's
sweaty.
tight. It's hot. It's rough, man.
It's not going to be a pleasant undercarriage in that one.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. What is that, Hoff? What did you say to me, sir?
I would say give the Twitch promo. If you
can. Yes. Why don't you do it to make it a little more painful for us? Go ahead.
Oh, of course. Why not? This is my favorite day of all time. Go to twitch.tv/WFAN if you want to see these two knuckleheads look amazing.
There you go. Well, listen, we appreciate that. And yes, and we go to Twitch. Check it out. Today's an interesting day. We did a lot of, every time I don't know if I can look at you very much today. When I look at you and I want to have a serious conversation, I just see doink.
And I see gold dust. I mean, what do you think? I mean,
this is bonkers, dude. All right, so Aaron Boone is going to speak today, right? And he's going to speak at 1 o'clock. And, I want to preemptively warn people what's coming this year. The first little bump in the road, if it's a prolonged one with the Yankees, and I'm sure until they solidify the top of that staff, hopefully they do, the Yankees will be subject to a little bit of a lull at some point. They're not beyond reproach. You're going to start hearing people screaming for Aaron Boone's job, which is idiotic. Now, I understand why you're going to hear that noise. First of all, this contract is up. The bench coach, Brad Ausmus, obviously has Major League experience. Joe Girardi, isn't that convenient? Our buddy Joe, last Yankee skipper to win a World Series, is back in the yes booth, so he is there in case he's got to be called down. Sal, all the noise, I'm going to ignore it. I've said what I've said about Cashman. I have defended Aaron Boone, and in my opinion, the Yankees' best path this year to a World Series is with Boone as the manager.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're going to make a change, and I don't think Aaron Boone is the problem, but if the Yankees falter, they have to make they have to make a change. Who do you think is going to be the first to go? Matter of fact, forget about even in season. If you fast forward this to the offseason and say the Yankees don't make the playoffs, what do you think is going to happen? You think Cashman's going to get fired, or you think Boone? I think Boone is going to be made the scapegoat by the Yankees. Yankees have higher expectations than I believe that they should. Boone is going to can't get rid of the players, not getting rid of Cashman, so Boone is going to be the odd man out. He shouldn't be, but he will be, whether it is in season or whether it is postseason. Assuming the Yankees either fail in the first round or don't get there, I do think the bullseye is going to be on Boone. I don't think it should be, but I think it will be.
I think you're right after the season, and I still wouldn't necessarily agree with it depending upon who was to come here. Aaron Boone to me is somebody who, excuse me, has been very much on the receiving end of the wrong criticism. Like let's in a broad snapshot, look at what Aaron Boone, not what he's been given for the tools as a Yankee manager. I think more specifically what he has not had. Number one, he's never had a left fielder.
Right.
Number two, he's never really had a catcher. If you think about it, Trevino's little first half All-Star appearance a couple of years ago aside, he's never had a catcher. He never really had a third baseman. Donaldson's here, DJ plays here,
but look
here
at
for
the
a minute.
roster. I mean, look at the roster.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's never, outside of Garrett Cole,
they
had a lights-out rotation. He's had a good bullpen.
He's got the best pitcher in baseball. He's got the best player in baseball.
Well, that's where I was going. He's got the best pitcher. He's got an ace. He's got a superstar position player, and he's been handed a good bullpen, which for the most part, he's managed very well. Other than that, it's been decaying players, like just players with eroding skill sets, bad contracts, guys who came here suddenly forgot how to perform, like Gallo, like Hicks, and like others, and maybe Rodana's on that list now. So I'm not saying Aaron Boone's perfect, but I got to tell you, for all the slings and arrows that Aaron Boone takes, the man's held it together. He's poised with the media. His team plays hard, even with the run of injuries he's had almost every year. This guy puts together a representative team. I believe in Boone.
He also was the author of their worst season in 30 years last year. I know I'm not blaming him, but he's the manager. Man, I don't understand why the Yankees now all of a sudden are above change. They fired Joe Girardi off of getting to Game 7 of the ALCS in 2017. That wasn't good enough. Getting to Game 7, and it wasn't about the results. It was because they felt they wanted a different direction. So they bring in Boone, and they got what they wanted. Although they haven't been back to that point since. Again, I'm not trying to pick on Aaron Boone. I think Boone is a good manager. I'm looking forward to hearing from him today. I root for Boone because I like his personality. However, he's going to be at fault here. The first guy. I would have already made the change with Cashman and Boone years ago. Boone's going to be the first guy to go, and then Cashman. I think the Yankees will hire another manager before Cashman gets fired. They'll let Cashman hire another manager before he gets fired.
877-337-6666. BT and Sal on the Fan. Goldust and Doink at your service today. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. The other thing to consider is this, Sal. Like when you look at, you brought up Girardi, and when they got rid of him, that was a personality thing. Like Joe, and I respect this. Hey, I'm the manager, and I kind of believe this, and I'm not just going to acquiesce to, some nerd up in the front office stuffing numbers down my throat. I like that resistance. I truly do respect that. But the reason Joe was shown the door, personality clash.
Right.
And I think part of the reason
But it hasn't worked.
Well, it's about with Girardi.
No, I'm meaning the Yankees haven't gotten back to that point that they were at Game 7 of the ALCS, as a matter of fact.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
That was the high point in the Baby Bombers.
Yeah.
Game 7 ALCS 2017, led by a different manager.
No, I got what I'm saying, though, is I think part of the reason, to your point, I think one of the reasons that Boone is still here. Now, again, I think Aaron Boone's good. I think he's so unfairly disrespected and marginalized. I think it's ridiculous. I think he's a great baseball person. I think his team plays hard, and I think his team plays generally with purpose for the most part.
He's a good data applicator.
Here we go.
Well, he's not a manager. He's a data applicator.
No, stop.
He applies the data that the front office gives him.
So
he's one of the first of his generation.
But you don't think that he deals with 25 egos, young kids, superstars? Come on. That's so. And I know you're not literally wrong. But that's disrespectful when you throw it, and that when you say that's all he does.
No,
you don't think Aaron Boone has a connection and a pulse to the locker room? Come on, dude. He's a baseball manager.
You think he gets on guys that need to be held accountable the way that Joe Girardi would? Like Girardi's a manager, Buck Showalter a manager.
Well,
you think that Terry Collins manager? You think that those Dusty
I didn't
Baker
see Buck
manager.
doing a whole lot of managing last year, but I'll keep it with Boone. Listen, I am of the mindset.
Bruce Bochy, manager.
Yeah, I got you. I am more visceral, as you are. So I appreciate when it's right and it's the right player and it's egregious enough. I got no problem lighting somebody up in public view. And that's fine. You're the manager, you're the player, and here's the pecking order of power. And if you don't adhere to it and you keep messing up and you challenge what we're trying to do as a team, I'm going to light you up. No, I've always subscribed to that. It's a different world. So I understand that. Now, to answer you directly, do I think that Aaron Boone, behind closed doors is more assertive? Yes, I do. I think he drops F-bombs. I think he gets up on somebody in their locker for not hustling. I absolutely believe that Aaron Boone does that. Not public enough for some, but I absolutely think he does.
Let's just go based off of the facts. Joe Girardi had won a World Series before. Joe Girardi took this core, this Baby Bombers group, as far as they've been in 2017, have not been back to that point since. Aaron Boone's Yankees haven't gotten to a World Series. Those are the facts. I'm not saying it's his fault, but those are the facts. I don't need you laughing at me all day. I got the morning guys giving me crap. My stomach still hurts from yesterday. Oh, yeah, he's sick stomach. Oh, yeah, you want to prove it to you? My stomach is in disarray right now, and I got 3 layers of costume on. God forbid I have an issue. I'm going to soil myself. I mean, it's going to be an issue here. Sick stomach, bad headache. You laughing at me because I'm dressed like a freaking clown. Morning guys taking shots at me.
They were taking shots.
My wife busted my chops with text messages about contractors and this and that. I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? 15 texts, I didn't reply. What are you doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm in the bathroom at work, putting my clown makeup on for the day. God. I mean, let's just get this day over with, for goodness sake.
I couldn't wait for this day to end, man. I mean, and it's just starting, dude.
Hop
Look at
laughing,
us.
Spike laughing, Gio laughing.
Oh, God. Now, that's all fun and games. We'll get these Boone calls here. But they did question whether or not you're all in. That's a little...
could I have made it to work yesterday?
That's a little... Hold on. It's a little out of bounds.
Could I have made it to work yesterday? Yes. Could I have made it to work yesterday without having an accident? Not a car accident.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yep.
Might have been an issue.
Might have to circle back to that, though. I was surprised that they went there. Gio, your buddy, more than Booms.
I didn't hear it, but I heard multiple people telling me about it.
All right, let's get to you.
I'll give them a pass on that because I don't think that they know.
I got you.
mean,
and they generally have you back, and they always have hours as a show. So, all right.
They're also right in one aspect. They're also right in one aspect.
What?
I could have. If I wanted to really push it, I could have. But if you're up 3 times in the morning from 2:30 a.m. till 6:30 a.m. and you wake up and I'm like, my God, I didn't have the energy, and let me just do it from home today.
Gotcha.
And get through the show, and that's what I did.
All right. Look at that face, dude. You look insane.
You think you look better?
I'm not saying that. I know I look equally weird, but I don't like if you were Gold Dust, right? And I was looking at you. I'll be honest. I'd be saying, "Look at this freak. I mean, this guy. This is weird, man." But it's not like I look at you. It's funny. Like you just look funny. You look like a deranged, incensed, deprived, and depraved clown.
I'm Doink the Clown. I lost the bet. I just like Doink the Clown.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's go. To me, Boone's the guy. I'm sure many of you will disagree. Drew and Howell first up with Gold Dust and Doink. What's going on, Drew?
Gold Dust and Doink. Let me tell you something. This is who I want to go. What, you guys talking about Randy Savage next? Is that who we're talking about?
That would have been an easier landing. Trust me, I'd much prefer to be sitting here with Elizabeth. I can promise you that. That is a given.
Oh, yeah, that's right, brother. You knew it. But you know what? Boone is missing a catcher. Boone, there was Posada, there was Girardi. The Yankees have always had that catcher, that guy, that field general. Boone is only a few pieces away from, I believe, from really putting it together. The guy he's played the cards he's dealt over the last how many years he's been here. I forget right offhand. But he's played the cards.
Was it season 6? I think is this number 6? It's right around there. Yeah.
He's number 6, I believe so. But if you want to talk about egos, egos have been around since Babe Ruth, since Honus Wagner. Egos are egos. They're going to be there either way. The way Boone deals with things, I think people are quick to recall the Torrey years and the Girardi sort of there's where they had those 1, 2, 3, 4 starters and guys would go 6, 7 innings. I think Boone's kind of maligned for going to the pen maybe a little too quick with some of the starters.
Well, who do you think's a better manager, Aaron Boone or Joe Girardi?
I got to give it to Joe Girardi.
BT, you want to answer that one?
Who had a better roster? I think you have to start there. I'm not saying the answer. Thanks for the call there, Drew. I'm not saying the answer is not Girardi, but look at the roster.
I know, but you could say that about everybody.
Well, sure.
Joe Girardi basically could. Girardi's roster in 2017, some would argue, wasn't even as good as Boone had in 2018. And yet he got to Game 7 of the ALCS. The other big part here, you talk about catcher. Boone hasn't had a catcher. One of, I thought, the biggest reasons why they decided to go away from Girardi was because of Gary Sanchez. Because Girardi, who was a catcher, was riding Gary Sanchez at the time, and Gary wasn't.
He was lazy, dude. He wasn't locked in.
He wasn't taken to it.
He was absolutely lazy.
Maybe they coddle him with Boone, the data applicator, more of a player's manager. How'd that work out? Eventually, the Yankees realized that, you know what, it wasn't Joe Girardi that was a problem. Gary Sanchez was. Now, again, I want to just reiterate, Aaron Boone, to me, is not a problem. Like, I don't think he's their biggest problem. But do I think the Yankees could do better? Do I think that Boone is more of a data applicator than an actual manager, the way that Girardi was?
Yep.
Now, Girardi failed his last time in Philadelphia, too, miserably. So I'm not saying he's the answer. But I'm just saying that you look at Boone's team, he hasn't taken it to the point that Girardi did the year that he got fired.
Okay, there's no right or wrong answer, but we're taking a guess here. What's Bruce Bochy doing with this team last year? All the injuries, Judge missing 2 months, and Stanton for getting out of hit, and
good question.
Rizzo's out for 3 months because he knocks into Tatis's elbow at first base. You got no catcher, Trevino's hurt. You got no left fielder. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, you playing Bader, who's hitting 220 and striking out twice a night.
I'd rather have seen it. I don't know the answer.
He's not doing much. Let me spare you the guessing. He's not doing much.
Well, but you don't know.
He's not doing much more. They're definitely not winning the World Series.
Well, what would Boone have done on Texas? You think Boone would have won the World Series?
That's a good flip. I don't know. I put it this way. Let me put it this way. So I would give Boone a better chance to maximize a good roster and ride the wave to success than I would somebody like Bochy or even a young Billy Martin or Torrey or Girardi at his apex or whomever else you want to throw in there, elevating this Yankee team from last year beyond where they got. See, the fact that they bottomed down from a Yankee standard 30 years. I got that, 82 and 80. Unacceptable, right? But that situation could have easily led to 73 wins. They were awful. They had nothing.
I get it.
And I respect it. Like, we always look at, like, the height, like the apex of achievement. And we talk about this with the Super Bowls. What's more impressive, getting to 3 or 4 conference championship games but never winning the Super Bowl, or getting to 1 Super Bowl and winning? Well, you can make a case it's the former by having consistent success, even though it's not the ultimate success. So, to me, I look at Boone as a guy who pieces it together. I do believe they respect him, and I do believe they can win with him. Dan's in Lafayette, BT and Sal on the Fan. What's going on, Dan?
Hey, what's up, you crazy clowns? How we doing?
We're all right. We're low point today, but we're good.
I got you. I got 2 things I want to touch base on.
Go for it.
First one is Boone, and I think he can go to the World Series. I think he can win. I think a lot of people put way too much pressure on him for the players that he's given. You know, they show up expecting to do these things and they don't do it. That's not Boone's problem.
What the hell? Dude, why are you adjusting? I'm Danny. I'm listening to you. He's adjusting his wig. It's hysterical.
Because there's
is it too tight or is it too loose?
No, so there's air underneath the skull cap with the hair on it.
I mean, he's got the real neon half George Jefferson wig.
See, if I push it down to where like the air comes out, then it looks like it's like wrinkled.
Gotcha. So but you know what? I don't even think people can really see that. They're looking at the forehead.
Nobody can see it.
Fine.
All right.
So Dan,
sorry, Dan.
No, listen. My gripe about I'm not saying Aaron Boone's perfect. You know, one thing about Aaron Boone, thanks for the call, that has bothered me, okay, is the acceptance of some of these lackluster lulls by Gleyber Torres, most specifically. Like, you know, his head's in the cloud on the bases, his head's in the cloud sometimes on defense. He's a good player. But, like, to me, you want to start knocking some things? He's not unknockable. He is. Obviously, he's human. But I think when people... This is my strongest opinion out of the chute here. When people look at the Yankees, the way they've been built, forget about this year going into it, the last couple of years, and you say Aaron Boone is the reason the Yankees have not won, you are out of your mind. It's Cashman, and it's other factors, injuries as well, and other teams getting better, and the randomness of baseball. Cashman didn't give him enough to win.
The facts are, but the facts are Boone has been the manager of this team that hasn't gotten over the hump and gotten to a World Series, hasn't gotten as far as his predecessor did as far as getting to Game 7 of the ALCS, and his teams have gotten worse. 100 wins, 103. Then they were nearly 500 the pandemic year. 92 wins. That was a bad year. They won 99 games in 2022, but they still it started out great that year. Turned out to be an aberration.
Yeah, they were basically 50-50 over the final 100.
Last year, 82 and 80.
And they were terrible in the playoffs that one year.
Exactly. And last year, 82 and 80.
I get it. But now, to be fair...
I mean, we know the answer. 82.
Joe had a couple lean years there, and Derek was getting old. Pull up Joe's stats. Don't ignore that.
They won 84 in 2016.
I think he won 83 games one year. Joe wasn't exactly humming at the end.
No, not 82 and 80.
Okay.
Not 82 and 80.
Yeah, but I think he had more than 1 year where it was kind of lackluster. Boone's had one.
Well,
Boone won 100 games twice, and he won 99. And you're sitting here saying, "Hey, won 99, but..." Rather than saying, 99's pretty good. 877-337-6666. All right. So here it is. We pay off the bet. Hoff won he won the pool. He put us in the most unenviable position. There was no soft landing. You're either a clown or you're gold dust. And we're paying it off. We have a little fun. So if you guys want to check it out, go to Twitch. There is Hoff. Hoff, you are solo. I would have made you wear an Andre the Giant singlet just so you could, just embarrass. Well, you don't ever lose to me, Hoff.
Well, the one thing we did ask for, we were like, we did ask BT, just don't put us in a spot where we have to show too much skin.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be sitting here naked in a banana hammock for 4 hours.
Right. So we asked, and he delivered.
He obliged.
Unfortunately, this is what we came up with.
877-337-6666. Yankees have more horses this year. I believe Boone is good enough to get them there. Sal's not so sure. What do you think? 877-337-6666.